Hello everyone, welcome to our FS1 Mental Math class. Today's learning objective is learners will be able to identify the numbers 1 to 6 on a dice and numbers 1 to 5 in tally and the 10 frame. The learning outcome is learners are able to apply their knowledge about the dice, tally and the 10 frame. Can you remember what we will use to play these board games? Yes, we will use the dice to play Ludo, Bingo and the Snakes and Ladders game. Now, let's have a look at each side of the dice closely and review the numbers of each side of the dice. On this face of the dice, we have one dot. So, whenever we see one dot on a dice, it means it is number 1. Now take a good look at this face of the dice. How many dots can you see? Yes, you are right. It has 2 dots. So whenever you see 2 dots on a dice, it shows the number 2. Now take a good look at this face of the dice. How many dots can you see? Yes, you are right. It has 2 dots. So whenever you see 2 dots on a dice, it shows the number 2. When you roll the dice and you find 3 dots on the face of the dice, which number do you think it is? Yes, you're right. It shows the number 3. There are 4 dots on this face of the dice. So, whenever we see 4 dots on the face of a dice, it shows the number 4. Now take a very good look at this face of the dice. How many dots can you see? What number do you think the dots represent? Yes, you are right. It has 5 dots on this face of the dice and it represents the number 5. There are 6 dots on the face of this dice. So, whenever we see 6 dots on a face of a dice, it shows us the number 6. Now, can you remember this frame? Yes, it is the 10 frame. And we use the 10 frame to show the value of each number. Let's have a look at each 10 frame from 1 to 5 and review the value of each number. On this 10 frame, we have 1 dot. So whenever we see 1 dot on a 10 frame, it means it is number 1. Now, take a good look at this 10 frame. How many dots can you see? Yes, you're right. It has 2 dots. So, whenever you see 2 dots on a 10 frame, it shows the number 2. When you see a 10 frame and you find 3 dots on the 10 frame, which number do you think it is? Yes, You are right. It shows the number 3. There are 4 dots on this 10 frame. So, whenever we see 4 dots on a 10 frame, it shows the number 4. Now take a very good look at this 10 frame. How many dots can you see? What number do you think the dots represent? Yes, you are right. It has 5 dots on this 10 frame and it represents the number 5. Now, can you remember these marks? Yes, it is called Telemarks and we use Telemarks to show the value of each number. Let's have a look at each telemark from 1 to 5 and review the value of each number. This telemark shows one line. So children, whenever we see one line in telemarks, it means it is number 1. This telemark shows 2 lines. So whenever we see 2 lines in telemarks, it means it is number 2. This telemark shows 3 lines. So what do you think, children? What will be the answer? Yes, whenever we see 3 lines in telemarks, it means it is number 3. This telemark shows 4 lines. So whenever we see 4 lines in telemarks, it means it is number 4. Now let us look at this telemark. What do you think, children? This telemark shows 5 lines. So whenever we see 5 lines in telemarks, it means it is number 5. And don't forget, children, always the 5th line in telemarks will go across the 4 lines. I hope you all enjoyed today's lesson. Don't forget that we learned about a dice, 10 frames and telemarks from numbers 1 to 5. We also learned that all the dots on the dice and 10 frames represent certain numbers. We also learned that each telemark also represents a certain number. Today we learned numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 for a dice and numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 for a 10 frame and telemarks. It's reflection time. Now let us use the timer and guess and write the number of the dice, the telemark and the 10 frame on a paper. You can complete your task and show the answers to your mummy or daddy. Bye bye everyone. Have a nice day and see you soon.